Good morning, children. How are you all? So, children, in our previous video, we have already discussed about the mouth, which is very important part of the digestive system. And today we are going to talk about the stomach, which also plays an important role in digestion. Fine? So let's start reading, and for that, children, please open your books, page number 11. Fine, and please put your finger on the line which I'll read. From the mouth, the food gets pushed into the food pipe. Clear? So children, when we take food into the mouth, our teeth bite it, chew it, and saliva is mixed up with the food. Then what happened to the food? It gets pushed into the food pipe, and from food pipe the food goes into the stomach. Clear, children? The stomach is like a J-shaped bag. Look at the picture of the stomach. It is J-shaped bag. Fine. And from food pipe, food enters into the stomach. Clear, children? When food reaches the stomach contracts and relaxes gently. And when it contracts and relaxes, it helps the food to mix up with the juices. Fine? This helps to mix the food with the juices made by the stomach. Do you know, children? Inside the food, some juices are produced, which are also known as the acids. Clear? These juices helps the food to digest in the stomach. Fine? This helps to mix the food with the juices made by the stomach. You could compare the stomach with the mixie. Fine. Why we can compare the stomach with the mixie? Because the juices which are present, and when food enters to the stomach, it mixes with the juices, and at that time what happens? The juices digest the food and turn it into a thick soup. Okay. But this soup is still not in the form that the body can absorb. Means the digestion process has not been done completely in the stomach. Clear? It has to be digested further, and from stomach the food is sent to the small intestine. So children, let's talk about the small intestine. Start reading. From the stomach, the soupy food goes into a long coiled tube. So children, the small intestine is a long coiled tube. Fine. And from stomach, the food enters into this long and coiled tube. This tube is called small intestine. What happens to the food in the small intestine? The juices in the small intestine complete the job of digestion. Clear, children? Liver produce one juice which is called bile, and it sends that juice to the small intestine, and there are also some juices which are also produced inside the small intestine, and they also helps to digest the food. So the digestion process is completed in the small intestine. Then what happens with the food? Then blood picks up the digested food and carries it to different parts of the body. Okay, children? When food is digested completely in the small intestine, from here the blood picks up the digested food and carries it to different parts of the body. What happens to the food after that? Let's talk about in the liver, and we will talk about here how liver is helping to digest the food. The liver is the biggest organ of our body. Children, keep this thing in your mind. It is the biggest organ of our body and it makes a juice which is called bile. The spellings are bile, bile. It makes a juice which is called bile that helps to digest food. This juice passes into the small intestine through a tube, and this also helps to digest the food. And from small intestine, the undigested food sent to the large intestine. Okay, children? Now let's talk about the large intestine. All the food we eat cannot be digested by our body. Whatever food we are eating, some of the part is unable to digest by our body. What cannot be digested passes into the large intestine. So which food is not able to digest by our body can be passed into the large intestine. You could say that the large intestine is the dustbin of the body. Fine. Whatever waste we collect from our home, we used to keep that waste in the dustbin. Same as it is, whatever the food which is unable to digest, that food can be sent to the large intestine. That is why it is called the dustbin of the body. It is a larger and a wider tube than the small intestine. Clear? That is why it is called large intestine. Fine, children. The waste collected by the large intestine leaves our body as stool. Okay, children? So, this is the complete process of digestion. Now, let's revise. Food travels from the mouth to the food pipe, to the stomach, to the small intestine. Fine? The liver sends its juices to the small intestine and the large intestine collects the waste. All these organs that help in the digestion of food make up the digestive system. So children, this was all about your digestive system. Fine. See, when we chew the food, what happens to it? It pushed to the stomach through the food pipe, and here it mixes with the juices and digestion begin, and after that it sends to the small intestine. Okay, here food is completely digested and waste is sent to the large intestine. Fine. And through large intestine, waste is excreted through the body as stool. So my dear children, this was all about the process of digestion, and this was your digestive system. Okay children, we will talk about the respiratory system in our next video. Till then, bye bye, take care, have a nice day.